What up, Fallen Oni here, back at it with another Valorant video. Gonna play some unrated. I didn't complete my last weekly mission. So hopefully I get easy one this week. Let me switch my to 6,000.
Match found.
Why fracture? No, why fracture? Viper, 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 Viper. Hello? Hello? You there?
No
You
one can
there?
hold their breath forever.
Uh, Legend of Zelda or no, Valorant.
My reflection is here. Do me a favor, cariño. Kill her. Hi.
Map is so weird. What the fuck? They picked the Viper too?
Yo, right now we have the same knife and the same sheriff.
Very nice.
Right now we have the same sheriff and knife.
It's a A!
Toxins going up.
Well, they're on site.
Stay down.
See you, Jet.
Spike planted. Last player standing. I'll crush their Sova spirit.
Yeah, you can talk when you're dead.
Really? For some reason I can't. When you die, you calm.
Of course you can talk when you're dead, bro. How else would you be able to communicate?
Well, I tried calming when I was dead. Didn't let me. Dude, I hate this pass. It's like a glitch. Why would you not communicate with your teammate?
Enemy spotted A.
Toxins going up.
Reloading. Enemy spotted A. Reloading.
Spike planted. Toxin screen down.
Reloading. Enemy spotted A.
Toxins going up. Last player standing.
Yo. Can't talk.
Look your enemy in the eye. It helps with accuracy.
Prosperous.
Toxins going up.
Yikes.
Spike planted.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Down.
Multiple enemies B.
Oh, dude. Yo, talk to me. Hello. cannot talk. That's so dumb. That is a dumb picture.
Toxins going up.
Say.
Spike down A.
88. I can't even say fucking how much I hit him for. Ah! This is so stupid. I hate this patch. Bro, what the fuck? Is that a bug? I swear.
Watch this!
The hunt begins. Spike planted.
Toxins going up.
Multiple enemies B.
Last player standing.
Screen down.
Fuck you. Oh my god, bro. Just surrender. Oh my god. Oh, it's a bug. I know it's a bug.
Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
One enemy remains.
Fucker. Oh, come on, just surrender.
Deep breaths, everyone. Your hearts are pounding.
Anyone have funds to spare?
Bro, I'm just gonna ult. Fuck this. This is so horrible.
Isolate and exterminate. Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
Bro, no, I should have done my ult right there.
Me.
Anyone have funds to spare?
Joke's over! You're dead!
Last player standing.
I just need an ult.
Keep it cool. That's how you survive.
Careful.
Don't get in my way!
Enemy spotted. C. Oops. What's this? My ult.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Wait, I completed it. What the fuck?
Lives on it. Amazon Paradox. Kind of want to watch it, but I don't know.
Let's do it. I'm down for that one.
Amazon it? I'm
Paradox?
bro.
What's it about?
This video is
Bro,
brought to you.
bro. When I went with Buddha at the City Liquors,
Yeah.
I met him in the bathroom. And tell me.
You by Storyblocks.
Wait. Pause this.
What?
What's this about? Like, what's the purpose of this video?
I don't know. I didn't watch it yet.
Okay, hit it.
Hello, my name is Adam Sandler.
Probably the guy was bad, but good. Was successful.
1999.
With his stand-up, SNL, and iconic movie roles under his belt, the 1990s were truly Adam Sandler's.
And the winner, the best comedic performance is Adam Sandler.
God bless you all! Starring in a brand new motion picture called Big Daddy.
All right, here we go. And we're both
I love that movie.
Keen on writing and starring in comedic roles, Sandler was in his element. With the wind at his back, in 1999, Adam started Happy Madison Productions.
Adam Sandler, we're all real happy.
The world saw a wacky, unserious comedian. But with Adam, there was more than meets the eye, and only one person knew it.
Some of us thought you were actually completely out of your mind when you cast Adam Sandler in this movie.
He just makes me laugh.
Go fuck yourself!
He's funny to me.
Our first movie is Punch Drunk Love, starring Adam Sandler in a radical departure from his usual brain-dead comedies. And the headline is, Sandler can really act.
In 2002, director Paul Thomas Anderson took what most saw as a risk and cast Adam Sandler as the lead in a dramatic role. It started with a hunch, but when Paul met Adam on the set of Little Nicky,
he said he wanted to work together and do a movie together, and I was just excited, and he went to work.
And despite it being bullshit, territory, Adam didn't take much convincing.
Were you instantly ready to do this?
Yeah, I was instantly in. Paul wrote that movie for me, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I think I could do that. I was nervous, but I was in. There was no way I was going to say, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Every 10 products you bought and mailed into them, they'd send you a certificate for 500 miles.
Which is a true story. A guy went and bought thousands and thousands of dollars worth of pudding that equaled 1 million frequent flyer miles.
How much did this cost you?
It cost me a little over $3,000.
If you were to spend $3,000, that would get you 1 million frequent flyer miles. You would never have to pay for a ticket the rest of your life.
So that helped. But the main impetus was wanting to write something for Adam.
That's insane.
I have to go to the bathroom.
This is for Adam. You see this as a critical time for you, and are you anxious about the way you'll be received?
You didn't wonder why me? I mean, I may love this guy's movies, but what the hell am I going to do in his world?
It's a new chapter. And I'm happy I met this guy. I was excited to try to accomplish something that I haven't really done before.
What?
What are you doing in here, cutie?
Watching football.
Who do you want to win?
The goddamn Jets.
His 1999 comedy Big Daddy,
Damn, she's hot as fuck.
Adam casts actress Jackie Tatone.
Too bad you don't like girls. I think you could have had her.
And Adam took his shot.
I was just getting ready to do Big Daddy, and she was getting into acting.
How's the social life going? Big changes, I hear, yeah?
You have a new girlfriend? I got a girlfriend. Yeah, I read in the paper I had a fiance, but I don't. I have a girlfriend. Yeah, I got a girl. I got a girl. And I fell in love with her pretty quick.
Jackie appears again the following year in Little Nicky, and in 2002, she acts alongside Adam's family in 8 Crazy Nights.
What, does not agree? The face.
And by June 2003, the two of them had tied the knot.
Are you fucking dumb? Not a lot.
Now, the wedding is very interesting. Was your dog the best man?
Yes. Yeah. He wasn't the best man. He brought the rings out.
Got a girlfriend, got a house, got a girl in the house. Yeah. Do you find you're becoming like your dad?
My dad's like a real guy. He's a real man.
A big man with a big personality.
Me and my dad were amazingly tight, yes. My father in real life was highly respected in my household, and we kind of lived by his rules. I love my dad more than anything, and anything he told me to do, I would do.
And the guy goes, ha, ha.
I used to love any comedian my father
Match
and mother
found.
liked. I'd be like, oh, God, I want to be like that guy. It's making my dad happy.
Only 3 months after his marriage, in September, Adam said goodbye to his father, Stanley Sandler.
I was very tight with my dad, and when he was sick, I was with him as much as I could.
That's why you're here right now, to protect me.
to be scared for, to be a good father.
I always would tell friends who didn't lose their dad, you better spend time with them. I'm telling you, it will rock you.
I love you, son. I love you too, Dad. Goodbye.
Let's face it, you've got big ideas, but they're just that, aren't they? Ideas.
What? There's Adam?
I was your college roommate, for Christ's sake. You don't remember me?
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Good to see you, Burrows.
It's Johnson.
By 2007, Adam's experience with grief had changed him artistically.
I get that you're in pain, but you got each other.
In Reign Over Me, Adam's character deals with the trauma of losing his wife and daughters in a plane crash. Alongside Don Cheadle, Sandler's suffering is heart-wrenching.
You had a family, and you suffered a great loss.
Why are you asking me? Are you trying to focus me?
And until you can discuss that,
Friends talk to each other about what's going on in their lives.
You're an asshole.
and we can really talk about that, this is all just an exercise.
As an actor, are you trying to find some sense of balance between doing comedy and drama?
I had 3 daughters.
How do you feel that this movie is going to take you in a direction of being more serious?
This was not something I thought about ever doing. This just happened.
They adored me, Johnson.
I'm gonna pause
This
it.
script was so...
You know what? I kind of respect that. As an actor, he went with the roles that he like ride the waves. If things were up, do it up. If things were down, do the down thing without quitting it. I respect that.
It was written really well and moving, and it broke my heart.
So and I felt it at the same time.
And then I just decided when I
Alright,
committed
I'm
to it to
bad,
try to do it the best I could.
Because Adam, typically one to call the shots, was finding that he found comfort in relinquishing control to talented directors.
Ultimately, it was just Paul Thomas Anderson writing me something. When I'm with these great guys, it's kind of relaxing in a way, knowing that they're not going to move on until that happens.
Well, I've only done a few heavy. One surprise. The heaviest, and it is not an easy life for an actor who does that. And I am more than happy to run my way for comedy. I just enjoy my life a little more.
Maybe Adam had grown up a little, but growing up, does it have to be so serious? 2010, Adam cements his return to family comedies. Grown Ups is the culmination of a nearly 20-year-long friendship.
Spike planted.
I always want to do stuff with these guys forever, you know? I'd rather be with people I know and I trust.
Who's ready to get their funeral on? We kind of do it all together. We do it as a team.
It's summertime when we shoot it. You see a rope in a lake, and that doesn't make you want to go nuts. We kind of live in one place together. Our houses are all near each other.
This is insane. Who wants to see it?
Last player standing.
We all got kids. We all hang out together. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
On the set of his movies, Adam is worshipped, but offset. He's never been widely accepted.
The critics have said, I'm going to read you my favorite ones.
Critics haven't necessarily always loved your work.
This movie is the last nail in Adam Sandler's coffin. Another said he's no longer a movie star. And another one called you a man-child.
First off, let me say thanks for dressing for the show. I appreciate.
Adam doesn't have really a great wardrobe.
What a great outfit that is. You got.
Adam Sandler and his movie Jack and Jill won a record-setting 10 Razzies Sunday night.
What does this mean again?
It means I can't stand you being here.
And the Razzie for Worst Picture of the Year goes to... What do you think?
When it comes to Adam Sandler, there is one thing we can agree on, that no one can agree whether or not Adam Sandler is funny.
Does it matter what the critics say?
That was what makes him so good.
You know, it doesn't matter that much to me. I know what they're gonna say every movie. They're gonna say they don't
67
Is that
of them.
something you paid attention to? Is that something that's bothered you?
He could talk.
My life.
He could talk.
It makes me stronger.
Bro, what
than
the fuck?
anything you can imagine.
You're a very family-oriented man in general.
Well, let me start by saying congratulations, I hear a baby's on the way, and even better, I hear it's yours.
Absolutely. I'm addicted to him. I love being with him, and when I'm not with him, I'm very, very depressed. I believe in
hard work and what I'm trying to accomplish, but I just mostly want to be able to have time with my family and give them a good childhood.
Keen on simply providing for his family, Adam is able to shut off the noise, as well as the buzz.
You know, when people talk about your career, they talk about these ups and then the downs, ups and then the downs.
Man, I don't know what the downs have been.
I got into acting and comedy to try to do the best I could.
I loved every movie I've made. I've never
104 Omen.
in my entire career phoned one thing in.
I also see a couple of grads here today following my path and becoming a fellow 5-time Razzie Award winner.
That stuff doesn't hurt me anymore. It hurt me 20 years ago.
Trying to make funny movies and trying to make kids laugh. That was my goal.
Which, if it does happen, don't be upset, call me. And I'll teach you the proper way to laugh all the way.
Last player standing.
Fucking kidding me?
Damn.
I've never been
Yo,
on a plane before.
hello.
You know, we were just talking about that
I
movie,
can't
Punch
get
Drunk
my
Love,
mic.
and this is a very nice thing for you. There's actually Oscar buzz.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, the Oscar thing?
The Oscar, you know, that's not very Sandlerian.
Right.
Now, you're doing so well that you actually start your own production company, Happy Madison Productions.
Yes. The whole goal of the company was to keep my friends employed.
First of all, they don't. I can't go to the awards. They don't make a tuxedo out of sweatpant material. And number two, if I by some weird freak accident won the thing, you know, I couldn't take that trophy home because I know my friends would cut his head off and make a bong out of him.
Shit, this asshole's on my tail.
Always be good at math. You'll always be good at naming stars.
I was with Ben. He got a Walk of Fame star, and I went and visited him. And I said, we got to do a movie together, right?
Son of a bitch! Dad, stop yelling in the car. He cannot hear you, okay?
Mommy and Daddy and G.
I wish it's just more about the movie, like 50 Dates or whatever.
50 First Dates?
Yeah.
And I said, we could play brothers.
How about
He said,
Click?
yeah, I
Click was
thinking
really
that
good.
too.
Yeah, Click was my favorite.
Hands, you got my toes. But luckily, I got mommy's nose.
I was disappointed in you for quitting piano.
And then we talked to Noah, and he was thinking a similar thought.
Adam connected to something very deeply in this guy.
And we lucked out. Got to do this together.
And it was deep, and that was, you know, it was very moving to me.
Just get it together! No. Shut the fuck up!
In 2017, Adam made his biggest step back into dramatic acting with the Myra series.
Was this something that you took on because it was a challenge, or did you feel it was a natural progression at this stage of your life and career?
It was just luck that this guy wrote an amazing movie and handed it to me. It's the most I ever studied before a project. I read
138.
it, knew it was a great
KJ.
movie, and it was we didn't start shooting for like maybe 5 months after, and I would study my lines every night. Just didn't want to let Noah down because I didn't want to let the guy down. It's our career, it's our life, it's movie to movie. You can't exactly say, I'm doing this next and then that's it. You don't know what's coming next. Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Your new film, Uncut Gems, your performance is crazy.
Arno, what is happening? Don't Arno me. So I want the Celtics to cover. I want the Celtics halftime.
Wanted to...
Actual train fucking POV.
Well, the guys who wrote it, the Safdie brothers.
How amazing their stuff is, and the fact that they wanted to work with me, that was exciting.
I heard you free surf at your fucking swimming pool. You know how that makes me feel? Never free surf. You think your life is more important?
Is it too late? Should we maybe...
Are you serious right now?
I don't know. I just know.
Now hear me out. 16 leg parlay, 4 bet slips.
He can. First of all, he's unbelievable.
Bro, that one parlay I linked in that call with me, you, and Hassan, bro. That parlay was 40 mil. One game away. One game away. You know how sick I am, bro? You know how sick I am? That was $40 million, guys.
Yeah, that's something.
Man, this is something I have to do.
Fucking wait, give me my
I think you are the most annoying person I have ever met.
Never go down me all the time.
Get him out of the car.
I hate being with you. I hate looking at you.
No, I want the underwear.
Give me that deal.
Give me the underwear, you cocksucker.
And if I had my way, I would never see you again.
It's okay. Thank you. I'll meet you right back inside. It's all good now.
When I get to do something like this, like Uncut Gems, it's a different excitement for me because I'm not sure of myself.
I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. Everything I do is not going right.
And the Spirit Award for Best Male Lead goes
The what?
to...
This is my
Spirit
fucking
Award.
way. This is how I win.
Adam Sandler.
Thanks. I love you guys. Thank you. I'd like to also give a shout out to my fellow nominees, who will now and forever be known as the guys who lost to fucking Adam Sandler.
Actually, it's true.
Trying to accomplish something, I feel like I might be screwing up. I think that's what drives me, is that I'm kind of obsessed with it. Shit comes your way, you connect with it, and you go, I ain't fucking this one up.
It seems like you're drawn to these characters who are unlucky, you could say losers.
Oh,
I enjoy playing these guys who are struggling. I'm a nice man. I mind my own business.
Double wide.
Give up. So you tell me that's that before I beat the hell from you.
He doesn't play underdogs. He plays champions that are overlooked.
Ooh!
We are delighted to honor one of Hollywood's most loved comedic actors today.
Hello, my name is Adam Sandler.
As he is honored with the 2,431st star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
And I am the 2023 Mark Twain Humor Prize Award recipient.
Today we honor Adam Sandler.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Can I get a oh yeah, Nobby Craft?
This man standing here is not just a wonderful son, an incredible husband, a loving father, a producer, a writer, and an actor, and a loyal friend.
I'm soft. I'm a soft man.
You are, and you're a big kid. I think that's why everyone likes you.
Yeah.
He is also dedicated to the people that helped him get here, his fans.
I've walked down the street with movie stars, and I've never seen anything like it when Adam walks down the street. He's there. He's present. He's not somewhere else.
My friends who are here today, I want to thank them so much.
I love you, Adam.
Love you, buddy.
You see him and you love him. You want to be his friend. That's the truth.
Nobody makes me laugh like you, and nobody has taken better care of me in this business than you.
So you always back me up 100% and make sure I accomplish whatever I set out to do. It's been a nice, just a great ride. I come from a great family. I had an amazing mom. I had an amazing dad who's watching down, I'm sure. He'd be very excited about this. All they ever did was make me feel like I'm good at things. They just always made me feel like I was the star of the family. So many people come out here with the same dreams I had, and somehow I'm getting to do them, and I really appreciate it. And then along came two of the two best ladies showing up, Sadie and Sunny. I love you. You want to say something? Every hang we have, I'm only wishing.
Fuck you!
You two and
One
Mommy,
enemy.
that's the best life can get.
I love my daddy.
Uh,
I love my daddy.
I love you too. You guys are my buddies. I love you more than anything in the world.
Thanks for growing old with
That's so sweet. Am I the only one tearing up here?
Yes, I'm on streamer. Otherwise, I'll stream. I'd be fucking. I'd be calling my mama. I'd be like.
Yeah, I'm definitely. My eyes are full.
I'm just kidding, but yeah. That was a nice video. I enjoyed it.
That was a good ending. Yeah.
That got me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Feeling down.
Get them out of here. I can buy. Shadows traveling. Enemy spotted. Shadows traveling. Shutting them down. Too suppressed. There. Caution.
fucking kidding me. That positioning. Oh, so horrible. So horrible.
What are you doing on this planet? Like, why are you here? So person. That stuff like rots brains.
Yeah. You're good at your job. But what I wanted to talk to you about was a lot of the stuff you told me from my ADHD. You actually helped me a lot, and I still use it. You told me breathing exercises that I do a lot. I try to use a lot of touch to like get back into the moment. That's probably the thing I struggle with the most is like being in the moment. One thing I've noticed over the years though, it's getting worse. And it's not just I think for me, but I think it's for everybody else. Like the technology is just like so fast. TikToks and all that other stuff. I mean, I guess what I'd ask is like, what do you think people can do more to like reduce the amount of brain rot? Like that's basically going on with everybody. Because I feel like on Twitch, even something like a Twitch chat can hurt your dopamine receptor. You're just basically staring at you're waiting for the next thing to come into play. You know, the next.
Well, so even since we've been here, I've been amazed at how quickly you've noticed when Twitch chat says something. So if you just like look at that, there's like so much information there that you're processing, but the second that a beetle showed up, you caught it.
Right.
Mic volumes, you caught it. The second that your cat sits on the server, you catch it.
Right.
So you think about, so this is like what's wild. What people don't realize is the load on our brains at a given time.
Right.
So right now, do you know what Twitch chat is saying?
Yes. Try hard.
So it's bizarre.
The fact that I wasn't looking, and what are they saying?
They're getting caught up in the load.
I literally knew what they were saying. I wasn't even looking at them.
So what's actually happening right now is your brain is actually reading that in your peripheral vision, and you are using a portion of your cognition to suppress it.
remaining.
And if something important comes up, your brain will be like, hey, by the way, we've been tracking this. So your brain is like literally reading every one of those messages right now. And so if we kind of talk about like, so I think it's just wild that our brain, I saw a couple of studies recently. One is that having your cell phone in the same room as you increases your cortisol levels.
What's cortisol?
Cortisol is the primary stress hormone. So when we talk about like, you know, we're chronically stressed all the time, like literally having your phone in the room, they've done studies where they just check people's cortisol. And it's just whether the phone is in the room or not. And it stresses you out, even if it's not doing anything.
No.
So they've also done studies that show that having the phone in the room leads to what they call brain drain. So this is when, so if you think about like, let's say your phone is here, right?
Right.
If we think about it, we always have an impulse to check our phone. Like if we surrender to that impulse, we pick it up and we check it. But even when we don't give in to the impulse, that impulse is constantly there, and our brain is actively suppressing it.
Yeah, you can feel your heart rate increase.
It's crazy. Yeah. Like there's all kinds of stuff, and then there's like even weird things like people talk about cortisol, but then there's other molecules in the brain, like something called CRF, which is causes the release of cortisol.
Get out of my way!
And CRF is kind of weird because most people don't really talk about it much, but it's really interesting. But when we use technology, our CRF levels go up, and CRF makes us more vulnerable to addictions. It's like really bizarre, like how it works in the brain. I can go into detail if you want, but it kind of like, if we think about, so it's a stress hormone, right? So it's like signals stress, and then if you kind of think about it, when we feel stressed out, what do? Our brain wants to relax.
Yeah.
And so if CRF levels are high, which just being in the same room as the cell phone, increases our stress level, and then some parts of our brain are like, hey, we're feeling stressed, we need to make that go away. And so like having your cell phone in the room makes you more vulnerable to addiction.
You're giving away $1,000 each month. So if you would like to subscribe, go for it. It's free, it's simple, and everybody that subscribes has a chance to win $1,000. It could be you.
Peace. No, we're not even talking about technology addiction. We're talking about all of the coping mechanisms that you use. And it's a little bit of an it's a big extrapolation, but like it's bizarre when you're kind of talking about it, like things are getting worse. I see you doing a lot of things that are better. It terrifies me if you feel like you're declining, dude. That's like, because your frontal lobes, they should be peaking right now, dude.
I know. I think it's just well, I mean, I've had a lot more additional added stress over the course of the years, you know. So I think that stuff might have done it as well, but I just feel like in general, it's so hard. I just don't, because then it just stresses you out, and then I get stressed of the fact that I'm stressed about the fact that I can't relax. It happens all the time. I'm like about to go to bed. I'm like stressed that I'm not relaxing and and then I start stressing more and start thinking about more shit and just piles on. And I can't ever chill. That's why a lot of times I think I don't remember a lot of. And this actually kind of makes sense because when I was a kid, I wasn't so stressed. But I remember commercials from like 2001 for no reason. I just remember all of them, the whole thing. But I can't remember anything I watched in the past month. But it's because
I'm heading B.
Back then I wasn't so stressed.
Wait, never mind.
Back then I wasn't so like 12 different eyes everywhere.
What happened to my
Here's
B?
There's maybe some element of ADHD. There's some element of your job, and here's the tricky thing about streamers. So we have a report coming out. I don't know if you're familiar with Stream Hatchet, but we
Jibber, drop us.
So Stream Hatchet looks at like streamer performance, so they're like more on the industry side. And they were looking at analyzing creators who have gone through a coaching program, and y'all can see the report. But it's really interesting because what we sort of find is that taking your W's and turning them into L's is a great formula for success. So when you do a good job, it's not a W, it's an L.
Yeah.
It's what could you have done better?
Yeah.
So this kind of stuff it's really fascinating, right? Because you don't ever get to like relax and celebrate. It's like, what could you do better? And then if you do a bad job, then it's like, well, fuck. So it's like, it's L's. Anytime you play the game, you're getting an L.
Yeah.
And there's, I mean, you're just fucked, dude. Like there's no, you can't go through life like that. Now you'll be very successful, and it's not just streamers. So like I used to work a lot with like banking and like the CEOs and that kind of stuff, and then I came to Twitch.
I'm sorry about that.
But no, I love it. It's not. It's a step up in my book. But so what you tend to see is that there are people who are very, very high performing, and one cognitive thing that they do is they never relax. Right? You can't be proud. You can't like.
One enemy remaining.
But then the other thing that's kind of weird is not only do you have that and ADHD, there's this whole other weird like, not just the stress of your job and the technology induced like have to be watching Twitch chat, but you also have something else weird. There's like another like dimension here, man, where like, I don't know, in the West they may call it trauma related because it looks like trauma and smells like trauma or whatever, but in my mind it's like spiritual. It's like, what are you doing on this planet? Like why are you here? Like you want to coast in your 30s for what?
True.
So, you know, med school is like a good example of this, where we like sacrifice our 20s and then we sacrifice like a chunk of our 30s, and then like success is around the corner.
Yeah, that's how I think.
And this is the crazy thing. I was talking to a kid who was like going through this accelerated med program where med school is 3 years instead of 4, and then like you get done early. Since you get done early, you start like grinding at your job early, and then you can retire early. So it's like, we're gonna sacrifice our 20s so we can retire at 55 and live life for a couple years before we get a knee replacement. And then we're really gonna live life, but we can't fucking walk because we've got a knee replacement.
You're right.
And it's like I'm all for, you know, I mean, I've worked hard to build life, but I think nowhere along the way, and I think this is, I was lucky, like, I was taught how to enjoy every minute of it. And the real tragedy is that you can perform just as well. And I think better. I think better too, and that's what the Stream Hatchet report shows. Like people go up, their monthly viewership goes up by 171% on average. I thought was unbelievable.
Fuck, wait for me. I can do that too.
So we have
50K Andy. Oh shit.
I don't know if it'll. I mean, so I think the sample size of people at your size is small, but there are. I mean, we have people of your size that have gone through our program, and like.
I don't even care about numbers. I genuinely just want.
Oh, I know.
Don't worry. I'll keep them quiet. Genuinely, if I could do anything in the world, it would be. I would love to relax.
Okay, we'll work on that.
And the thing is, I would love to not have to. So being a 50K Andy, you know, maybe I don't have to care as much.
I mean, do you care more at 40K than you did at 30K?
You never have.
Absolutely.
It's a thing in.
Thing number 2: don't move the goalposts.
You always do. How do you not move the goalposts?
I mean, it's really common. So, I think some of it is just like awareness. Really. Like, what are you looking for? Like when I say 171%, like your face lights up. Like it's the only time this whole
Get the fucking
conversation.
ace. I'm really pissed that I died.
Right?
What
I
the fuck?
Makes a challenge.
I mean, there's been a joke this whole fucking time.
My wife. That I have to fly in a therapist.
There's a good one. I've got a name.
Oh no, I honestly, I did go to therapy for a while.
I died for you to get that
The
ace.
problem that I had with therapy was I talk to them and then I'd be like talking about stuff with chat and it just didn't seem like they got it necessarily. I think there were honestly a lot of them were older, so it's just like me talking about my problems and it goes to that thing you were saying, the generational stuff. It's like they just don't get it. I'm like, yeah, this like 20k Andy did something to the 6k Andy, and she's like, who the fuck's Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Fuck.
So a couple things. So one is, so I was actually last weekend, speaking of doing things that are not I was at the American Psychiatric Association National Conference. And these guys, so we were like featured there, and we have like a 6-minute like bit that they were showing. And in that bit, like, Sweet Anita was part, like, interviewed because she's talking about, like, mental health. And she, like, kind of lays the burn pretty hard on, like, psychiatrists. I was, like, a little bit concerned that they're going to kick me out. I mean, y'all would have to watch it, but she's kind of like, you know, just because you know stuff doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you know stuff. You know, and like, she talked about how, like, psychiatrists aren't necessarily, like, charismatic or, like, with it. And, and I think it's kind of interesting because we don't think about entertainment value or like, you know, force of personality is like what people is the necessary requirements to be a successful therapist. But I think if you kind of look at like what people are looking for nowadays, right? Like you want someone who can like engage you.
Yep.
It's not just about a degree or expertise. Like you want someone that will like listen. Not just listen, they'll do that. The problem is that they'll that's all they'll do. The needs of your generation.
Okay, grab the op.
Like you guys need a different brand of like psychiatrists and therapists.
I'm sorry, I could buy you.
Do you think it's harder for our generation
I could buy you.
grew up with like a
It's fine.
technology that was
No, you're good,
It wasn't. I feel
It's
like
fine,
quite
don't worry, don't worry.
Whereas it especially those times, like okay, you have 4 friends that come over. I mean, it's you know, because if you were hunters and gatherers at the end of the day, all that stuff. But like you know, having people around you, all that stuff, it builds such a character to you, right? And nowadays, I mean, like. Kids don't ever hang out with their friends, period. They're always online. I mean, kids.
Wait.
I mean, I just I feel bad.
No, I do too. And it's really interesting. So I talked to one of my friends in college who was like one of the original streamers. Like we're talking like back in 2001. He was like, you know, when you play games like in person or at an arcade, like if someone is an asshole,
Flanking with the older.
Right.
But on the internet, you can be an asshole, and there's an endless lobby of like people that you can shit on and dump your toxicity. There's no consequence for toxicity.
Yes.
And even when I was at the Game Developers Conference last year, which was wild, but and they were like talking about, okay, like I was giving a talk about how can you create like positive communities.
Okay.
And I was like, look, y'all, these are like game developers. Look, if you're you can't
want to talk about
tack
that?
on some feature at the end of a video game that's like, okay, like let's create a positive community now. Like it has to be in the structure of the video game.
Yeah.
That's the problem with gaming, is that everyone's like adding these things at the
nice.
of like, okay, like let's start banning people, I guess, or like muting people or something like that. Or like,
Have a good
but
day.
like, tack a feature on that, like
I
the game is
can't
built,
talk for
right?
some
And then it's
reason.
just like, here's a community feature. Community has to be a part of it. It has to be baked in.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of other really interesting things. Like I think one of the big problems is that the time lag between bad behavior and consequence is so big. So if I get reported in a video game, when do I get timed out? What do you think?
Well, depends on the game.
Pick one.
I mean, like Roblox, you can just make a new account and just boom, you're back in.
When do I get banned though from the point of bad behavior?
Oh, usually it's kind of instant nowadays. Isn't
Oh,
it?
really?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean,
That's huge.
Yeah, it depends on the game. Like Valorant, if you say kill yourself, you immediately get like removed.
Oh, that's
Really?
That's
I'd say so. Yeah. Am I wrong? Maybe it's in chats. In chats, yeah, you get banned. But in like they're saying days or weeks.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying, dude.
I play
was
Mario
like,
all day. I don't know.
Holy shit, dude! Did they actually listen? Because what I was saying, like, just think about it, right? Like, so you've got a cat, right? I don't know if cats are trainable, but but like if you kind of think about like behavior, like if you do something bad today, and then 2 weeks later,
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's like all it does is piss off the person who gets banned. They don't even know what they got banned for, because what happened over like now I log on and then what do I do about it? I post it on Reddit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I logged on today, I'm banned. Like, I didn't even do anything because I don't even remember it happened like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's weird, but if you look at like behavioral reinforcement, like if you've got a kid and they like shit the bed,
you don't yell at them 2 weeks later.
And then 2 weeks later, you're like, go to timeout, and they're like, what did I do? And this is the other thing: you don't even get told why you get banned.
Yeah.
And then you tell the kid's like, what did I do? And you're like,
match found.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And then how do they expect behavior in games to be better if we don't even tell people why they got banned?
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of bizarre features in a video game, it's bizarre that we now live in a day and age where you can pay money to not play a game. Do you know about like this whole like leveling thing in FF14?
Oh, so that's the gacha shit I was telling you about.
You can pay money to not level up.
Yeah.
And now we have gotten to the point where in my day you had to pay money to play games. And then we moved to free.
Well, we had.
And now you pay not to play. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, but now it's like advocated. Like, oh yeah, don't play. Yeah, you're right.
And it's a game that I pay money not to play. And that's how they're designed, because they're like, okay, like, we're going to make a game, and it's like, before you eat your sandwich, we're going to serve you a pile of shit, open up, and eat your shit, and then eventually you'll get the sandwich. And then, like, we're like, what is going on, man? I don't even know.
Genshin Impact, you know Genshin, right? Made like a few $1 billion last year. Is anything really going to change? Unless it's like gets, like, you know, basically gets kicked out of the country or something like that, like deregulated or something.
I mean, just because we don't see change on the horizon doesn't mean that it's not going to change. Right? So I think if you just, like, look at history, like, people will think, oh my god, like, this is the end of stuff. Like, right now, everyone's like, AI. Like, AI is, like, killing whole swaths of stuff.
See, but, like, AI is scary, though,
great.
because
How about yourself?
don't you feel like...
I'm doing okay.
Look, I think AI is great in a lot of ways, but it is scary to me. The only thing I care about that AI would suck. I don't care if people lose their jobs, right? People find other jobs.
Trying to
I
hit
think
on
it's
someone,
scary
you know?
is it just makes people feel like the human spirit
Riz.
doesn't matter.
I know, right? Oh
Right?
my
Like
god.
now they're gonna have music be made completely with AI or graphics or and stuff like that. I mean, doesn't that kind of take away from what humans are and like their creative outlets? Because basically an AI can just do it so much better.
Yeah, I mean, so I tend to agree with you. So I think that
Pixela, damn it.
So we don't really know, but like I think that. Let me think about how to answer this. So I think that a lot of the hype. So I was actually on a call with someone from a VC firm today, and was just talking to them about, hey, like, what's going on with AI? And I think they were really good because they were like 90% of the people who are talking about it don't actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I think that ChatGPT is able to do a lot of things, but there are everyone who's like, we're going to use AI for this. And let me know if this gets too technical, but we're going to use AI for this, okay? We're going to use AI. We're going to like use AI for this. We're going to use AI for this. We're going to use AI for this. We're going to replace therapists, right? So I was recently approached by someone who's like, you know.
Oh, I don't think that can work.
Well, so we'll see.
Maybe I'm wrong, but...
But I think that what they don't really acknowledge is that everyone who's doing AI for all these random things is using APIs for like basically three huge LLMs, like ChatGPT, like Microsoft has one. Sorry,
my balls are sweating.
I think it's Microsoft, right? Who has?
Yeah, Microsoft.
And then like there's like one or two open source ones, but it's basically like the core of the LLM is there, and then they're trying to like apply it to all these different things. But like the people who are testing out like chatbots for mental health support, the LLM is telling people to kill themselves. And the reason is because it was trained on the internet. So the core of the thing, so you can try to like make it into like a therapist, but it's basically the collective intelligence of the internet is at the base of the AI. And so we can't just turn ChatGPT into all kinds of stuff. It's like we've given the internet a voice.
You look fun.
We've taken the collective intelligence of the internet and we've like given it a voice. And so now the problem is everyone's like, AI can do this, AI can do this. Well, the collective intelligence of the internet can do that. So then the question is it actually going to do a good job? And that's where like a lot of stuff is actually falling short. And that's why I think that even if you look at like OpenAI, OpenAI was saying that, you know, they're going to need to spend like $300 to $500 million, like just to get it to the next level.
Jeez.
And like a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to do this for like $50. So it's wild, man. I think the antidote to this has nothing to do with performance. Although, I mean, that's fine. Like people can regulate it or cancel it or whatever.
Usually talk about just one topic with people.
Yes and no. I think this is one topic.
Oh, okay.
So let's put it this way. So here we are talking about, okay, so human beings are losing their value.
Yeah.
Right? And like earlier we were talking about like, you know, like, are you proud? Can you afford to be proud? Like 40K, 50K, 60K, like when does it end? When will you be satisfied? When will you be active intelligence of the internet? And we've like given it a voice. Internet is at the, and let me know if this gets too technical, but like ChatGPT.
30 seconds left.
Like Microsoft has one.
It's like a podcast. I like it.
Right? Who has?
Yeah, Microsoft.
And then like there's like a 1 or 2 open source ones, but it's basically like the core of the LLM is there, and then they're trying to like apply it to all these different things. But like the people who are testing out like chatbots for mental health support, the LLM is telling people to kill themselves. And the reason is because it was trained on the internet. So the core of the thing, so you can try to like make it into like a therapist, but it's basically the collective intelligence of the internet is at the base of the AI.
One enemy remaining.
And so we can't just turn ChatGPT into all kinds of stuff. It's like we've given the internet a voice. We've taken the collective intelligence of the internet and we've like given it a voice. And so now the problem is everyone's like, AI can do this, AI can do this. Yes. The collective intelligence of the internet.
Yes.
So then the question is it actually going to do a good job? And that's where like a lot of stuff is actually falling short. And that's why I think that even if you look at like OpenAI, OpenAI was saying that, you know, they're going to need to spend like $300 to $500 million, like just to get it to the next level.
Jeez.
And like a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to do this for like $50. So it's wild, man. I think the antidote to this has nothing to do with performance. Although, I mean, that's fine. If people can regulate it or cancel it or whatever.
Usually talk about just one topic with people.
Yes and no. I think this is
popping.
Oh, okay.
So let's put it, here we are talking about, okay, so human beings are losing their value.
Yeah.
Right? And like earlier we were talking about like, you know, like, are you proud? Can you afford to be proud? Like 40K, 50K, 60K, like when does it end? When will you be satisfied? When will you be content? It's all the same thing. Because I think what human beings need now more than ever, I'm going to call it spirituality. You can easily call it psychology, but like, what does it mean to be human? And what do I derive my sense of worth from? And so I think that this is where, like, you know, if I get replaced by an AI therapist, like, I'm gonna have certain challenges.
Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Bombastic.
At the same time, like, I know that there have been people smarter, better, more charismatic, more successful than me before I showed up. There are gonna be people who are better, smarter, more charismatic than me after I show up. Right? So, like, you understand this as a streamer, there's only amount of time before someone else shows up. Right now, I tend to be the only mental health professional who streams semi-regularly on Twitch. That's a matter of time. I was fucking shocked. Like 20 people came up to me at the APA conference this past week, and they were like, you know, I'm going into psychiatry because of you. And so like these people all watch Twitch.
Yeah.
But
that's a great thing that you've
I think helped. So, but my value, one of those guys is all of them are gonna eclipse me, or women, right? And so, like, one of the things that I understand is that my value is, like, temporary and relative, and, like, people are going to outpace me. And learning to be at peace with that, I think, is what we need globally as a society. So you can't, if AI replaces you and that's what your self-worth is tied up in, you're fucked. Now, this is where we have to think about, okay, how are we going to preserve that person's self-worth? From a societal angle, we're not going to let AI replace you. I mean, the humans are doing this, right? We're already, like, we've got art contests and stuff where they're, like, banning AI-generated art. So the humans are fighting back, and so the war against the computers is, like, already starting. Like, it's like colonization of humanity by AI. And humans are fighting back.
Down B.
But what's happening, I heard recently that, you know, there was a group of, I think, there was a eating disorder hotline.
One enemy
where
remaining.
the hotline operators were unionizing. And the eating disorder company or whatever, like nonprofit, they just canned them all and now use a chatbot and use AI to replace like hotline people. And so what's happening is like, you know, companies are starting to replace humans with it, and then like, so there's like all that sidle angle. I don't know what the hell is gonna happen. But from a self-worth angle, I mean, I would say like, I don't know what I can do about that, but what I can teach people is I can try to teach you how to relax, how to enjoy yourself, how to recognize that you could get hit by a truck tomorrow and like, on wood, nothing like that would ever happen to you, but that you're chasing something. Like, hell, I streamed today and I was talking to this guy named Jay, who was like, you know, my dad started living his life and he got diagnosed with like early onset Alzheimer's and like died in 2 years. And he had grinded his whole life, like worked 2 jobs and like, you know, was finally living, and then like,
It's alright.
And so there's a lot of stuff about, we have to learn how to derive our self-worth. This is globally, because this started with like social media, where like, now my worth as a human being depends on how many likes I get.
Yeah.
Right? And if I post something and people like it, if someone else likes something more, then like I'm worthless as a person. And so I think we've all got to figure out, okay, like, what are we doing on this earth, and like, what matters to me and what makes me a good person.
So like, what is a step then? How do you get to that?
So I think the biggest, there are a couple of big things that we're missing. Like, in our arsenal, we're trying to take down this boss, but we've got tanks and DPS and we've got no healers, or we've got healers and DPS and we've got no tanks. We're missing a couple pieces of the puzzle. One is that we do not control or purify our perception.
What does that mean?
So, when we get stimulus from the outside, we consider that stimulus to be true.
Fucking kitty.
So when we get told something, we like eat it up. Like, we don't try, like, we try to control things once they get into our mind. How do I overcome procrastination? Right? So we fight once something is inside our mind. We'll wrestle with our mind all day long. But we don't control or filter what comes into our mind. So I'll give you an example of this. So as a psychiatrist, you get trained in people abusing you. So like, I'm working in the emergency room. It's like 4 a.m. I trained in Boston. So there's a really bad K2 problem. So K2 is like synthetic weed. And it really like fucks people up. And don't use K2, kids. And what happens is people will come in and they'll be like psychotics. They're like yelling at you and like all this kind of stuff. And so like, you deal with abuse, you deal with people who are like addicted to things. Like, I did a lot of addiction psychiatry. So people like, you know, when they're like craving for stuff and they're going through withdrawals, they'll do whatever they need to get it. And so you learn how to like take this venom that people are giving you and like purify it as it comes in. As this person says this, they're not really saying I'm a piece of shit. They just met me. Like, they have no idea. They're saying this because they're trying to get something out of me, and I don't have to take it. That's an example of like, when words come in, we can actually purify. We don't have to take them the way that they're delivered. But right now what's happening in society is we're actually moving in the opposite direction. So I'm not saying that, so there's a really interesting example of this. So there's a meta-analysis that came out recently that trigger warnings are, first of all, not helpful, and secondly, actually increase anxiety.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so what's happening right now is we're doing something really subtle. And I think it's being thoughtful about your speech and not letting people use hurtful speech is really good. But at the same time, I see something that really bothers me, which is that if the way for my peace of mind is to control your speech, my peace of mind is no longer in my hands. It's in your hands. And I can try to control you to give me peace of mind by preventing a certain kind of speech, which I think has merit. I'm not saying that that's bad. But there's a fundamental power shift where we are surrendering control of my peace of mind to your speech. And I think we're losing something big there. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it. But at the same time, I think we need to be careful, because the more that we do that, the more that I become controlled by my speech.
on wall.
I don't think that they should have less regulation. So much
Dude,
like,
I
so
can't-
we're sitting in an air-conditioned environment, right? I think it is healthy for us to go out and bake in the sun. I think it is healthy for us to get wet and dirty and...
I get what you're saying.
Right? So, like as human beings, our resilience comes from tolerance of, like, negative things.
So you think the internet's becoming more, you know, I guess, not resilient?
It's because it's yeah, of course. It's
PC.
And this is where people make it political. I'm not talking about political. I don't think it's just about speech. It's
No,
just,
yeah, I agree.
As a human being, how much do you want to surrender your peace to the circumstances around you?
Yeah.
So when I was in like India, like one of the things that like so it's kind of interesting because there's one Sanskrit word for meditation which is tapasya, and tapasya actually translates into penance or suffering. So what yogis would do, and sometimes you'll see these like they'll sleep on these beds of nails and all this kind of shit. There's also like these pictures of these people who like hold their arm up their whole life to where they atrophy, it solidifies and calcifies, and they like lose an arm. And it's like, what are you doing? I don't recommend that. But, and I think that we become kind of intolerant, and we're becoming human beings are becoming fragile.
They are, yeah. I think a lot of people would agree with you. I do think we're becoming more fragile for sure.
And this is where we also kind of see it with technology, because now, like, I was just talking about this today, where in the past, if you suffered as a human being, you were sort of forced to do something about it. Like, when I got made fun of every single day at school, which is what I did, I had to learn how to cope.
Yeah, now there's...
And now what happens is, I mean, still people get bullied, and I'm not saying that we should, like, run everyone through the bullying gauntlet.
No, we should, yeah.
Sexy beat. That's not good. And at the same time, I think one of the biggest problems is now when we suffer, we can, like, use shit like this to make it go away temporarily, but we don't actually grow or become resilient as a consequence. So, and I think it comes back to, like, you were asking, why do we move goalposts? I think some of it is purification of perception. So when that thing, I mean, when I tell you, like, Miz, I have a secret that'll give you 50K viewers, what does that do to you?
Get out of my way!
Like, what happens when you hear that?
Well, in my brain, I'm just like, hooray. Dreams do come true, I don't know.
Okay, right? So perception, the second thing is awareness. So, like, think about that. There's a part of your brain that's happy with that. Do you want to be happy with that?
I can do this all day.
I mean, honestly, I'd have to be happy with where I am.
Good.
Because the thing is, I'm going to get 50K, and I'm going to be like, okay, well, what about...
So here's the hard part. There's a part of your brain that will make you happy. Now what you have to do is reject it.
Pushing, I'm gonna die.
We're really good at rejecting the parts of our brain that make us suffer. We're really bad at rejecting the parts of our brain that
So much
make us
better than all of you. No, I'm kidding.
How do I reject?
Yes, you are.
Don't
Yes,
I
you
always
are.
reject it?
Yes,
I'm
you
like,
are.
I'm happy, I feel.
Yes, you are.
No,
Don't doubt
because you're
yourself.
chasing the 50K, right? You're chasing that happiness.
Right.
You're not able to say to yourself, fuck it,
Okay,
I'm not going
I
to
think
do it.
I'll be able to fucking know.
To be able to do that.
That is rejecting your
What?
ambition. It is rejecting
It's
what
not
you
to
want.
doubt myself.
It's rejecting
That's why
your
my mom's not
achievement.
here right now.
It's hard to we crave achievement. Achievement's a good thing.
She's
We
at
don't
your
reject
But
it.
it's exactly what you said before.
Yeah,
It's like,
sorry
I
about
had
that.
goals, and
We
I've
knew
had
that,
about
I'm the cool
50
dad, don't worry.
goals. I've moved my goalpost every time, and it's exhausting. I mean,
You're a
just-
slave to your goal. You're a slave to your ambition.
Yeah.
And so the bizarre thing is, like, you've got to... No. So here's the big scam. Peace doesn't come from anything outside
Can't
of
clutch,
this.
I have no heals.
It cannot come from anything outside of this.
Oh.
And this is a lesson that you haven't quite learned it yet, but you've tried to get peace externally. And it just doesn't work. You can chase as much as you want to. You can have people who are very, very successful.
Oh my god, someone advanced.
You can piss them off very easily on social media.
God, forgive me for being AFK, because like,
Even
I'm
though
watching
they
my girl
have
shower and I'm
achieved
enjoying
everything
this
that they
moment.
wanted to achieve.
Yeah, you're right.
So the desires of the
My girl
mind,
smiled at me as soon as I said that. I mean, she's probably,
anything,
never
when
mind.
you feed them, they do exactly what happens
Getting
to
the
anything
free
else that you
nudes, you know what I'm saying?
feed. What happens when you feed something?
Skibbity bop bop bop. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then they want more. The other thing that happens, this is the tricky thing, is they grow.
Just gotta get him. Always gotta get him. You know. Every time she says she's gonna take a shower, I instantly
each
call
goal
her.
that you set for
You know.
yourself,
Don't even say anything. Just
you hit,
instantly call her.
feel good.
Works every time.
Get up in there with that griddle now, y'all.
Yeah.
Average
It never says no.
Feel good.
It's great.
You're gonna get hungry again.
You can't catch us.
You're good at your job. Oh, you're right.
What do you?
So like, how do you not be like that though? Like I feel like it's like almost human. It is human nature.
It is human nature. Very good.
Here.
Yeah.
What are you feeling right now?
I just hate how you know all this. It's true.
So have some reason. Come here. This is the advantage of this. Right. We're gonna help you, dude. We're gonna.
That would be great because I would love to not care.
So ADHD kids with ADHD, by the time they hit the 2nd grade, on average, well, I don't know if it's on average, but they're, in some studies they have 0 friends by the 2nd grade.
Nope.
Fuck.
Nope.
And this I remember, you were the class clown,
Man,
right?
let's just go ahead. Like,
Yeah, that's what
our
ADHD kids
friends
do,
are-
because the only way that you can relate to
Right.
people is by being the class clown, by making them laugh.
Yeah, it's the only thing that gives me self-worth.
Right? Because, and you know what the problem is? When you were in 1st grade, and it's like, we're going to take turns on the slide, you couldn't take turns. Right? You just jump ahead, and then kids don't like you, and then they stop inviting you to their birthday parties, and then you get socially isolated.
Planting it.
30 seconds left.
No.
And it's like,
Planting it
happens
where
to,
the
like
pros
70%
play.
of ADHD kids.
Right here.
And so the only way that they know how to like get kids to like them and smile at them is to be dumbasses.
Yeah, it's so true. But we're so good at it.
You're so good. That's why you're a successful Twitch streamer, because that part of your brain, along came the internet, and that part of you that can make anyone laugh, no matter what is going on, how you're feeling, how they're feeling, you can make them laugh. And Twitch loves you for it.
Blessing and curse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really do want to. I think there's a balance to it, right? Like I love
I
having
would say,
ADHD.
hold on a second. If we're being
you
honest,
got 'em.
it's a curse with some benefits.
Let's go.
You should.
I thought you were gonna say it's a blessing. You're actually right.
Reloading.
No, it's more of a curse because it's disassociation's just so hard. It's very hard to keep friends. You forget or like, you don't feel present. Always sucks.
Yeah, can't pay attention to conversations.
What? Yeah, you can't pay attention to conversations. But isn't ADHD getting more and more with kids?
Yes.
Why is that? Is that trauma related or is that just the...
I think it's a combination of things. So I think that it may have some things to do with stuff like diet. I think so, you know,
Bro, I swear
working
to
out
fucking God,
recently, right?
none of you guys.
Stress a muscle, it grows.
Yeah.
You know how.
So what
Never
used
mind.
to
I'm
happen
fine
with
with it. I'm
kids
fine. Never
is
mind.
that, like, I would like have to read a textbook in the 2nd grade. And things were so hard, like I had to learn, like my attention had to learn how to stick to something.
Yeah.
But now what happens, like when I was watching, like I would watch cartoons, and like I couldn't pause, I couldn't rewind, and I couldn't switch.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to enjoy the cartoon, I had to wake up at a particular time, I had to pay attention when it was on, and then it was like good. Now what happens, you give my kid a phone, and they'll switch through 15 YouTube videos in like 60 seconds.
Yep.
There's nothing working out our attention span.
Yeah, it's even like what you said, like in WoW, World of Warcraft was on your computer. That's really all you had. Took time to load up the game. Yeah,
you had to sit in a queue to
sit
log
in.
in.
Queue. Yeah, nowadays what can you do? If you don't like a game, you go to like 6 different others in 5 seconds, or you do what you said. Just grab your phone.
Yeah, so here's a good example of this. Like now, I find myself, if I'm watching a TV show, I'll also be browsing Reddit at the same time.
Oh yeah, and that's crazy. Like back, you had to watch the show. It's all you had, or commercials.
No,
I remember commercials. Nowadays, like kids are just like commercials. You know, they're on their phone checking their stuff, text messages, or. I mean, what I think is really bad for ADHD is all the monitors we have now, where it's like. You know, 15 years ago, you had one monitor. That's it. Now you have 3, 4, 5. You have 2 streamers on, 6 chats, the different everything. It's just, I think it's terrible, and I really don't know a solution for people for ADHD because it is such a curse. You're right. It's not.
Last round before the
I try to look
switch.
at the good, where it's like, yeah, it can make people laugh, but it's very isolating, and it hurts, like you said, relationships. People don't want to hang out with you as much because you're fucking annoying. I mean, yeah. So do you think there's this, like, what could people do?
So a couple things. One is there's a great practice which is called Ek Tattva Abhyas, which means basically do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So throughout your day, so recognize that you don't have to fix everything. You just need to start pulling in the right direction, right? You don't have to like on the slow pull. You just have
Let's
to do
go.
like 3
Nice
push-ups a
shot.
day. Then you'll be able to do 4.
got
Then
you.
you'll be able to do 5. Then you'll be able to do 6.
You know, I found that's helped me a lot with ADHD. I think a lot of people
gotta
who have
push
ADD or
it with
ADHD
my
that they
ult.
don't do.
Popping it.
I sent it on my
5,
Discord
4,
where it's just
3,
me
2.
It's not a schedule. It's like a to-do list. It just helps so much with my brain. What else do you have to do? Do you have to do this? Do you have to do that? Do you have to do anything else? And the fact that I have a list where it's like, that's it. That's all you have to do. It's helped my brain tremendously with like the stresses, the constant worries that come with it.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. So therapy, so psychotherapy for ADHD has a couple of different components. When I do psychotherapy for people with ADHD, I do 2 different things. One is I try to help them with their trauma from growing up with ADHD.
I don't even know if I have trauma. I can't, when you think of trauma, it's like
let me explain.
Have something that like they know.
I'll explain. So, Ms., are you
switching sides?
You're a smart guy, right? Your IQ's pretty good.
Okay, I only have like.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
What do you think, honestly?
That if I'm smart?
Yeah.
I think I'm very socially smart. Like, I understand people very well.
Okay, so here's what happens with a kid with ADHD. You all know that you're smart. But you can't do things as well as average IQ kids. Right? And then all the kids with this is how 70% of them end up with depression, by the way. Because they realize, like, first of all, they get socially isolated, and they know that they're doing something wrong, but they can't control it. They start to feel hopeless. And then here's what happens. Like, you're a smart kid. You know you're as smart as everyone else in the class. Maybe you're smarter, but maybe you're average. Maybe you're a little bit below average. Who the fuck knows? Thing is, you're, like, in the same league at a minimum, and you should be able to do this stuff. But you see kids that are just as smart as you, or stupider than you, doing better. And you can't, for the life of you, you want to do good. You try to do good, you just can't fucking do it. And if you've got ADHD and people around you don't realize that, then you don't know that your brain is wired differently. All you can do, but even 6-year-olds can compare intelligence.
Careful, Raina's on the
left. And they
left.
say to themselves, I should be able to do this, but I can't. And if I should be able to do something and I can't do it, what do you think that does to my self-worth?
Last player standing.
Tried!
Sure, you take Adderall, so you can start taking Adderall in high school. But like, what do you think 7-year-old?
One enemy remaining.
I'm a fucking genius. I am a goddamn genius. No.
So one thing I do with psychotherapy is like I try to help kids with their sense of self-worth, because usually people with ADHD have very low self-worth. So I would say as much as you can.
Oh, they talk on the mic. I can't. Why can't I talk on the mic?
Gone? I was iron.
What
Why
about,
are there iron people in this?
Is reading
Oh,
help
there.
with that? Like, I think...
Sure.
What about, like, reading... Because I think whenever I read in the morning, like at breakfast or something, I always feel...
what is he doing?
Oh, sorry, Master. Sorry,
Yeah, so
Chess.
there's other stuff that could be going on there. But I think the main thing to remember is that when people, like, let's say you eat a meal or you try to read, and people will say, I can't focus.
Oh wow.
But just like when you're exercising your body, when you start doing something, like the first time I go for a jog, like, it's gonna feel terrible. Like, I can't really run.
Yeah.
But over time, that's your brain will adapt. Your brain will figure out, like, okay, like, we need to be doing this shit. And then, I mean, it depends on how severe your ADHD is and stuff like that.
Picture
but-
like a 10.
Huh?
Mine's like a 10.
No, it took damage.
I don't think you could have worse ADHD than I have.
Yeah.
Charlie Mike, let's move.
The greatest man alive.
You go to like the next part of the scale.
Map deployed.
Not here. It's A, motherfuckers.
It's A.
Obviously.
Obviously, it's A.
Obviously,
Now I
sorry.
want you to be aware. Why did you say that?
What
Where's
the?
that?
Oh shit.
I thought someone was covering me!
You know, bad
What a lucky bitch.
is and how bad it's gotten over the course of.
Spike down A.
What's the emotion that you remind
Last player standing.
Whoa, what the fuck?
It's almost like
I feel you. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
It's like I'm joking.
Like banned
but
on
I
comms
know
or what?
It's like it hurts,
Yeah.
but I'm joking about it.
That statement is born of pain. You know what I hear when I hear that?
You're last!
That hurts so much. It's so hard.
Bruh, we got aced? Really? No.
What the drugs?
What rank are you, Riz?
It's fucked.
Get ready.
Every single thing I try to do. And anything
Riz,
that I've
what's
done
your rank?
successfully has been through sweat, blood,
Riz.
tears, luck.
Riz.
I've got a couple things that I'm good at. And man, I have run those as hard as I can. And every ounce of success has been like scraped together.
It's all luck.
See, there's that emotion, there's the joke, there's the separation of the corpus callosum, separating your right hemisphere and your left hemisphere. So even in that moment, you distract yourself from the
Nope.
On my way.
right?
The A.
Now there's some genuine. So you see the relief. This isn't a joke.
Let's go.
Now this is.
Stick it. I'll protect
now
you.
you see it. This is the power of it.
Yes.
Now just feel it.
Fucking bitch. I protected you, didn't I?
That's awkward.
Oh, dude, that was it. She was right there.
Right, but even that's good. You're observing. It's hard. You're not making a joke. You're not distracting. It's okay. You did good. Good enough for today. Enough. Good. Good job.
You prescribing some Adderall now?
Reloading.
Sorry, that was too much. I had to make a joke.
Yeah, that's okay. Right. So the other thing. So focus on one thing. The other thing you need to do if you want to be present, you got to start connecting your emotions with your daily.
What do you mean?
Like what we just did is like. So I heard you make a statement. That statement was born of emotion, but you have no idea.
Dude, my mind.
Not kill my allies.
Russ, what a fucking thing.
And the problem is like you're talking about being present. You can't be present. Presence is like a flow state.
Yeah.
Flow state involves synergy or synchronicity of the whole brain. And for whatever reason, you've got your emotions like separate from everything else.
So I need to allow myself to be emotional more in order to be more present.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? So it doesn't, I'm not saying that you have to do it here and now, and you keep on doing whatever you need to get to 50K on Twitch. Like, you do that. But in some small parts of your life, you just allow yourself to feel whatever you feel. And in your case, and this is where especially men and people who have ADHD too, or trauma or whatever, doesn't fucking matter. Body is the most important place to feel emotions when you're starting out. So you're not going to know what you feel, but like, you know, if I were to ask you, I mean, now the moment's gone, but like if we think about that 10 out of 10 statement, I'm able to articulate what you're feeling. So I'm like serving as your EQ, like your emotional quotient, right? Like but if I would bet money that like there's a physical reaction when you make that statement. Because anytime you feel an emotion, there's going to be a physical reaction. And so you sit with the emotions in your body. And so what I would recommend is at the end of your day.
Never doing that again. Fuck that.
You could do beginning if you're too tired at the end. But generally speaking, at the end of your day, ask yourself, like, what did you feel today? What did, like, and this is the observing self, what did Mizkif have to go through today? Just ask yourself that question and let whatever comes up.
Can I write it down?
Sure.
Yeah.
You can, writing down is great. And then what you may notice is as you write things down, your mind will twist and turn. And you're going to call it ADHD. But what you don't realize is that sometimes it's ADHD, but sometimes it's that your mind has learned that it can distract you from your emotions and your negativity with another thought.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, and then what I would do is, as you're writing those things down, I would pay attention. Maybe this is stacking too much, so fine, start by writing, and then we'll do level 2. But level 2 is going to be, as you're writing down, you may feel certain things in your body, and just like let that thing be there.
don't suppress it with a joke or another thought.
Or, this is the beautiful thing, you're gonna suppress it with a joke or a thought.
Or be aware of it.
There you go. Right on. Look at Gold Star. Look at that.
Right.
Well, sort of fucking.
No, I'm crying because
Anyways, good luck.
I mean, you're right. I think a lot of times I suppress my emotions, and that kind of makes me. I don't know why I do that. So that makes me not as present, makes me not as focused.
How did it feel to get the answer right? How did it feel to connect the pieces of the puzzle?
It felt like it made sense. It felt good.
I have faith.
So
I don't have faith. I don't have.
You don't. Shut the fuck up.
So, okay, we're gonna do this experiment. Okay,
Let's go, bestie.
So no eyes closing. Read Twitch chat.
Let's go, Reese. Come on.
How does this feel? And then close your eyes.
You're playing chess. You're playing chess while they're playing checkers.
Which one feels better?
The second one.
So here's the crazy thing. We're fractioning our attention all the time, fracturing our attention. And we're reducing the enjoyment and pleasure of life by doing so. The fewer senses, so our brain has a certain RAM. It has a certain attentional capacity. The more senses that attentional capacity is divided between, the less enjoyable it is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the other cool thing about Ektattva Abhyas is that when you start doing it, you're going to start to enjoy life more. And then you'll start to pull away. If you sort of bake that awareness into it, you really stop and think about yourself. Okay, do I regret doing that or not?
Yeah.
Do I really wish I'd listened to something or watched something? And sometimes you're going to find that, okay, actually, like what I was in the mood for, I didn't want to be present. I didn't want to just taste the food. I really wanted to forget. I wanted to be in oblivion for an hour. And sometimes your mind needs that. You can give yourself that.
So I think one thing chat can do, I think a lot of people in chat, they'll have like, chat they'll have like 12 different tabs of it open, looking at like 17 different streams at once. So what they should do, I know this might sound crazy, chat, what if you close a lot of your tabs and try to just focus on one stream instead of the 15 different chats all at once?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's...
No.
Sure. I mean, that's... whenever I think of... You used to say that, like... They have like 15 tabs open of other streamers right now. Chat, are you really enjoying 15 streams... Like, are you enjoying all those streams times 15, or are you spaced out and you're not enjoying any of them?
There's a whole different... That's a whole different bucket, dude.
No, fuck you, chat.
So here's the thing. The reason that they have 15 tabs open is because... they're greedy.
Let's go, I'm GG.
They're trying to find... They don't want to miss a juicy part.
Yeah.
Right? So they want to... There's juicy parts of streams, and then there's, like, whatever parts of streams. So this is where, like, you're hungry. You don't... Like, you want to find, like, the juiciest bits from each stream.
Yeah.
So should they watch one stream? Yes, but what they're going to get from that is something different. They're going to get to... If you're greedy in life, chat, and you are a slave to your, like, greed, and you want to overcome that, then you should watch one stream. And then when you do that, you guys get me? When you do that, what are you going to have to give up? You're going to have to give up, like, oh my God, but, like, I'm missing so much. It's so much more efficient. And then you're, like, hungry and greedy all the time. Greed.
FOMO.
All right. Well, leave it at that. I'm done with playing Valorant. See you in the next. Keep on working. You got this. And later. Goodbye.